This is the American Intelligence Media. I am Thomas Paine. I have a DEFCON 1 red alert that I'm giving to all of you to pass up the ladder to President Trump, to Mick Mulvaney, to Sarah Huckabee, to whoever you can that can get this into the hands of the president. Because what I'm about to tell you are the keys to stop the cyber warfare attack against America. We can already see it happened in Europe, and it has been effective. There is no more free speech in Europe or in Britain or in many other places in the world. Because why? The Silicon Valley warlords have encroached upon our American free speech rights, and President Trump now knows this. So, Mr. President, please listen to the pitch that I'm giving you. This pitch will put in your hands the keys to end all of that. It will end global corporate intelligence like Highlands Forum and DARPA and In-Q-Tel. It'll be the death blow to the Chinese control through IBM, who has non-American international business machines. It will show how to avoid the monopoly, antitrust, and racketeering lawsuits you're going to have to bring against Silicon Valley for censorship, for privacy infringements, and all of the other crimes that have been committed by a group of fake people who stole a technology which, Mr. President, we're willing to give to the country for its future licensing and certification of those companies because they don't have the source code. What I'm telling you is the keys that are being offered by Leader Technologies, the group, these things, the source code, the IP, the secrets, trade secrets, and all of those things were stolen from them, can be handed over to you. And when those companies, Facebook, YouTube, Google, PayPal, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of them use the same stolen code. And they say it was given to them by IBM Eclipse Foundation as a gift of this patent, but they don't have the patent and they don't have the original source code. So when this source code is handed to you, Mr. President, you will actually be the person giving all of those Silicon Valley groups that I just named their user agreements or not. And you can stipulate no surveillance. You can stipulate no violation of U.S. civil liberties. You can stipulate no squelching of free speech. You can stipulate anything you want because now you will control the keys to the internet, the keys to social media. And remember, right now you are being attacked. That's the reason this is a DEFCON 1 red alert. You are being attacked, and it's worse than a nuclear attack. It is a cyber attack. And this cyber attack is global. It's all places at once. It's not dropping one bomb. It's dropping one bomb that hits every location on the earth at once. You know this with your Twitter account because you have used it almost as a counter weapon, as counterintelligence to the attacks upon you. So imagine if you get control and there'll be no more censorship and that the mainstream media will have to open up because you will reveal, once you get this code, you will in fact be able to reveal that even the mainstream media is rigged through companies like Avid and ISIS Management. You'll be able to reveal that all of these Silicon Valley companies were fake. And you can either charge them and fine them, or you can just simply create new user agreements. Plus, remember, once this code is in your hand, the United States government, through the federal executive branch, will be able to control all annual and monthly fees, which are billions upon billions upon billions. The stolen technology from Leader Technology is, in fact, right now estimated to be worth, since it's theft from, Mark Zuckerberg being a fake person for that, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all these different fake IBM stooges, really, they're just the front people. They didn't write the code. They don't have the code. When you ask their companies, do you have the code? They'll have to say no. At that point, they will know that you have them. And you can do with them whatever you want, Mr. President. But all we're asking for is what has reached your desk in many, many different forums, which is called the Miller Act Notice. Leader Technology is asking to please be paid for this source code and this IP, these stolen trade secrets, these inventions that took a long time and millions of dollars to create and was stolen by government agents, which we've put in all of these explanations. All of these things are verified with evidence. Even many-year lawsuit that reached the appellate court, 11 of 11 points were in favor of Leader Technologies. So when it comes down to it, had the Supreme Court heard this case, it would not be Mark Zuckerberg that we'd be bowing to nowadays. It would not be Peter Thiel. It would not be Elon Musk. And these people who magically just have amazing amounts of money every time they want to open a company. No, we would actually be happy that Leader Technology was paid for its invention and that there's a free internet, no surveillance, no targeting, no commercialism buying the ability to brainwash people who are on Facebook, people who are on Google, people who are on YouTube. We would end all of that because you would own it. You would be able to reinstate free speech, reinstate our republic, stop the war that is going on against you and conservatives and all the conservative sites out there. Thousands of them have been knocked off. How can this be going on? Because really, the Silicon Valley cyber lords, they're not even Americans. They don't pay taxes. And many times their companies aren't even headquartered here in America. And we've seen the billion-dollar charges and fines that they've had to pay in other countries. Now they're going to have to pay them here. What they want you to do is bring antitrust, monopoly, racketeering charges against them, break up the company, and then they become multiple billionaires. Because why? Every time you break up one of those companies, they're just simply going to change names, move, open up 2 companies, 7 companies, and they'll just become 7 times richer. So, the keys we're giving you are the control of the internet. Anything that has a single sign-on, anything that has money exchange, anything that is a secure line, all came from Leader Technologies' stolen IP. Since it's stolen, since you have written an executive order and you've asked the people to please tell you about these things, we're telling you. We told you about the Chinese control of Broadcom and the merging with Qualcomm would be the death of America through 5G control being in the hands of the Chinese. We have given you warnings about some of these things, and we've tried to educate the public about Leader Technologies theft, and we have all the evidence that you could ever want. AimForTruth.com as well as Americans for Innovation have more material than you can read showing you the indictable evidence concerning all of these things. Millions of dollars in lawyer fees, years and years, 17 years of legal battles, and everyone except the original writer of the IP has been paid off in millions of dollars, but not Leader Technologies. So if you get control, as you will be given control through these keys, you can not only control the internet, but you can also go back and see that the public key infrastructure, which is how cryptological exchanges happen on the internet, is controlled by Hillary Clinton, Robert Mueller, and Michael Chertoff. That's right. These are political machinations that are unbelievably simple to solve. All you'd have to do is get control of a little committee called the Public Common Policy Committee that gives a lease to private corporations to control our cryptological exchanges on the internet. That should be controlled, actually, not by corporations, but by the NSA, people who have military security clearances that actually have repercussions. So, Mr. President, you can have a win-win scenario for winning the White House, winning the House of Representatives, winning the Senate, stabilizing the stock market, ending global corporate intelligence control of America, dealing the death blow to China. You can avoid all these stupid monopoly, antitrust, racketeering, legal battles with Silicon Valley. Just usurp them all. Play the trump card that we're giving you, and you will be able to stop the war against by the anti-American Silicon Valley cyber warlords. These are people who are not Americans, and they are taking not only our wealth and our revenue out of America, but they're taking our privacy, they're surveilling us. And when you told Dan Coates he needed to get this together, and he needed to stop surveillance of all Americans, he didn't. And they just simply ended one NSA program and started another one. And then they made that raw data available to all Five Eyes members. And patent theft like this, or IP theft like this, has been going on. It's institutionalized. We've actually laid out the intelligence reports and the timeline for you to understand all of these things, Mr. President. I know my time is up if I'm trying to give you a pitch, because I know that a New York minute goes fast, especially when you're in the White House. But I will say, and I will repeat, if you take this deal, and if you take the keys offered by Leader Technologies, you will trump not only Silicon Valley and the globalists and everyone on the internet. You will be able to do it without a disruption. You'll be able to do it by opening up competition. You'll be able to do it by creating a deal that later becomes private if you want it, corporations if you want it. It doesn't matter, but they won't have surveillance. It won't have targeting and manipulation and brainwashing in it. And that is what we need to end. That's what you need to end if you intend to win the 2020 election. These PKIs, these crypto keys I mentioned, control the election machine results. So when it comes down to it, if you take these keys, you can even make sure the election results are accurate, which they have not been in the past. And thank heavens you had a landslide. And you'll have another landslide this coming 2020. But if you have this in your pocket, you can control the very people who controlled the White House during the entire Obama administration. So please take Leader Technologies keys as a gift, not only to you and your amazing administration, but also to reestablish democracy in our republic, to reestablish the rule of law, to reestablish civil rights in the U.S. Constitution, and basically to get these cyber warlords out of our country so that we don't have to be in a virtual reality cyber DEFCON 1 red alert.